light a cigar that way.
Yo, it's the Shadow Smokers Legion, fun, family, and smoke. Rockin' with Phoenix Fresh rhymes, they stronger than no. About to break it off with the illest of crews, led by the man Tony Wang, making his vision come true. Now let me take you on a ride. We got love for cigars, from the east to the west, only the brightest of stars. I screen in the scene, little guy with the shop, shadow gazing around. You know it ain't gonna stop. Cigar mechanic don't panic when he's repping his brand. Escadillo and more, smooth as sticks in the land. Hashimoto's around, jumping live in the chats. Asian orange and more, his button's famous in fact. Cigars, pipes, whiskey, coffee, and more. Turbo jetting around, Tim with the dopest of pours. What's that? Huh? One wheel and reviews? Martin in the house, sharing the latest smoke news. Need to pick me up? Get to Southeast US. Bob and Chief in the mix, you know they say God bless. We got that journey, voyage, private blends for the crew. Celebrating with coins, repping that dope swag too. Now I'm about to sign off, you know it's time for that audit. Light up the group with my post, you know I'll rock it with socket. But remember y'all, Legion, it lives with a passion. From a man in the shadows, hey yo, the SoySauceAssassin. So cut it, light it, love the smoke from your region. After all we connect, it's through the power of Legion.
There we go. Hey guys, Tony the SoySauceAssassin here. It is Wednesday, and tiring Wednesday, but yeah, I'm gonna smoke. I guess I'm gonna smoke the wasabi because it's right in front of me, and I was like, I wasn't sure what to smoke. And I actually asked Albert, what should I smoke? He's like, just smoke something that you haven't smoked for a while. Well, yeah, I haven't smoked this for a while, so yeah, I guess that would do it. Anyways, let's open this first. You know, sometimes I just don't realize how small a cigar box is. Sometimes this cigar box is like one of my see how small this is, and this fits what's that, 50, the Demitasi size. This fits what, 20, 10. This fits 10. You see how they're the same size box? It just feels weird. It feels weird to have a box of cigar this tiny, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But how's everybody doing? We have James Wilcox. I have Juan. I have Mike, Quake, and Joe. And I'm gonna get a cigar out. You know, in a way, when I open this box, like if there was no band on it, I say if there's no band on this, it just opens up like this. It does look like you opened up a box of those really fake wasabi powder with these fake, yeah.
It looks like you opened up a box of those bubblegum cigars.
Bubblegum cigars. I have like those candy cigarette before. I don't know how a bubblegum cigar looks like. But anyways, so we're gonna smoke one of these. Hopefully I'll take my time to smoke this because this was one of those cigars. If you smoke too fast, it will taste like shit. But hey, smells like green tea. Smells like green tea. I'm gonna cut it. And
You're not gonna answer my question?
It burns. It's so. How long have you let it rest? How long since you got it?
Couple of years.
Okay, couple years, and it sits in your humidor at 70.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why.
Ah, shit.
Cubans doesn't like humidity. You want to keep it dry.
So you dry it out more.
Yeah, you need like 50s. 55, 65, 45. Then you'll probably burn better. It doesn't like that much moisture. It just doesn't. So let's see. Getting my own notification says SoySauceAssassin streaming, and I'm gonna put the phone to the side. Draw, sweet, nice. Again, I'm gonna drink this weird ass Coca-Cola coffee vanilla. It is really, really good. Like it's like you look at this, you're like, this thing is gonna taste absolute shit, but turns out tastes good. I don't know how. It just does. Okay. Don't give me a hard time on this.
It's not one that's not vanilla.
And it still tastes good. I think Matt got one, and then he said, ooh. he said that it tastes good to him. He is all black for him, I think. Yeah, like I say, I need some music, or else I just feel like I'm talking too weird. Okay, so let me light this up, and we'll talk about some updates, some crazy stuff, some what's new. So,
where's Hashimoto?
Hashimoto said he will be late, and Martin is on his way to Sonoma, right? So.
Just those chickens, man.
I had the fan really blowing at my face, and then like nothing want to light. Yeah, nothing want to light. Let me get a flat lighter. There we go. So yeah, everything's gonna light. But here's the good news, okay? I think today, other than Jeff's and James, I sent out everybody's glass, the Glencairn glass, except for 2 people who hasn't paid. So if you already paid, your glass is on the way. I finally got the time to
Yeah,
really deal with that.
I'm one of them, dude. Sorry about that.
Chat remove Evan in the house. Chat remove a lot of people in the house. Chat actually basically only put in the people that's usually in the live show. Now, if you want to go to after show, you can get a link from any of the people, right? I just basically really quickly did this together and canceled the other one. I do have the list still, I think, somewhere, but you know, for purpose of putting this together really quickly, I just put out whatever email that I recognize right away. And I think I did put yours because I figure, you know, either way you gotta be in the after show. So yeah, but you know, you can always ask for a link. No one's stopping you from going there. There's no such thing as, hey, stop Evan from going to the after show, you know. So there's
I think one of the issues, Tony, though, is like if you're not in there, man, we can't jump in.
Right. And that's another thing I try to figure out. There is a way to have multiple person that holding the room, but here's the thing though. If I'm not in there, you can't jump in. But then you guys can, you know, while you guys are already in the room, you can have somebody just create another room. I mean, that's fair. So, I mean, the purpose of doing this using a different system is so that there is the mute everybody plus raise your hand system.
Man.
Huh?
So let's do it, man. Let's do this thing.
So
we need more people. We need more people.
I think there used to be a mute all button somewhere. I just don't know where. I haven't figured out yet. But there is raise your hand, so you know, something like that will help doing one of those raffle shows and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll figure it out eventually. Yeah, here we go. It says you raise your hand, so I can tell who's raised their hand, and we can have a better way of communication, right? Better communication. It's more action. Remove pen to screen. Yeah, and you know, we'll just figure it out as we go. I need more functions. So
I like the raise your hand thing, man.
Yeah,
that might be the way of doing it. Like you can dial, you can like chime in.
Yeah. So basically, we'll just mute everybody until they raise their hand. We'll unmute, and then we go. All right. So you know, that way we have a more organized live show during the time where we, you know, hang out for like Christmas show and stuff. Like something like when you have too many people, right? Okay, so ooh, tastes pretty good. I think I still smoke too fast. So yeah, that's all I got sent out today. I literally finally got to send out Andrew's package out. Because you have the one with the soy sauce, and I had to find a box big enough. Now, a lot of people was like, oh, what's the big deal? Just take the flat rate and then shove in there. I don't know if you guys realize, the flat rate box is all different size in different region. There are some of the like priority region B, priority region A, and our priority medium box will not fit. Our priority large box barely fits with the tip of the bottleneck touching the box. And I'm afraid of somebody dropping the box on the corner and will break the neck. Once you break the neck, the whole bottle leaks out. So yeah, I finally got a long box, one of those my sneaker box, because sneaker is longer than that. So I finally put it together and sent it out today. I mean, I'm still worried, even with all the bubble stuff I put in there. I still worry because when you pick it up, you can hear the alcohol. You know, when you turn one side, the air bubble went through. You can hear the as you go, and it actually bothers me. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. So yeah, I sent out pretty much everybody else's except for Jeff and James. And the next thing that I still need to send out would be the cutters when I receive them. Some people ask about it. I haven't received them yet. And once I receive them, you guys will be the first one to know because I wouldn't want to keep it in house. I want to send it out. So yeah, I'll send it out as soon as I can. You know, I heard a lot of people who received the Alisan coffee start trying them. Obviously, people who received the after show and the Assassin blend, both are good feedback so far, right? There's floral, there's sweetness, there's nuttiness. They are good, right? The feedbacks are good. So, you know, I'm kind of glad that worked out because that's what I like to drink. Now, the next is the Assassin blend, which, that's the Alisan blend, which I think Joe already tried. I don't know who else tried, but I think Joe tried.
We'll try here in a minute.
You'll try here in a minute? So you gotta go grind it up right now?
Yeah.
Do it. I would love to hear, like, you know, what you think. Because yours, the gold bag has the sun-dry version of it. Now, the sun-dry is the most pungent, most bold flavor out of the 3 different variation of processing, right?
How many ounces of water should I use?
Just, you know, make a full, you know, what machine are you using? Just like pour over, right? Pour over?
Yeah.
You can do, I would say 1 to 2. So, you know, 1 part of the grounds to 2 parts of water. So weight your water, double the water to the amount of beans in weight. So just,
We'll do 10 ounces, man.
Sure. I mean, 10 ounces is a little low. You can get a whole cup and a half in that. So if you do a pour over, it depends on what the speed of pour over that you're doing. But you know, you can make it really thick and then add water as you go. Okay.
Well, 10 ounces is like. So 10
12
ounces is good.
10 ounces is good. 12 ounces is fine too.
So I'll do 12
I would say go with 12 ounce.
All right, I'll do 12 ounce.
All right, so 12 ounces is pretty standard. It's like a standard cup, right? So 10 to 12 ounces. 8 ounces is tall, so. Ooh, spicy.
Wonder what Josh is smoking.
Yeah, Josh, what are you smoking?
It smells.
So
is it a salty cigar?
it must be. It sounds like 115 to 117 for a coffee ratio. No, it really depends. It really depends. I like 1 to 2 parts. So 1 in weight, not in volume, in weight. So a lot of time people will weight their coffee, right? They put coffee under. So you do 1 part of coffee bean weight to 2 parts of water weight. And then you'll be able to get a good ratio to start before you adjust it. Some people like more, some people like less, right? You know, it's one of those things like when you're making a broth or soup or something like that, you put water in there, but sometimes you like, you know, the chicken weighs just a little bit or look more big. I had to add a little bit of water, or you know, this particular chicken is a black chicken. I don't know if you guys know what black chicken is. Black chicken has white fur, okay, and we used to make herbal soup all the time. So we'll cook that chicken in a lot of water because that thing has a really pungent taste to it. You actually like the black chicken is probably once it's killed together, it's probably just this size, this little tiny thing. So we use it to make a huge pot of water. But just just as you adjust it, salt it to flavor, salt it to taste, all that stuff, you gotta adjust that to your liking, right? Because there's not one recipe fits all, right? Yeah, Gary's right. It has black flesh, or you can I can almost say purple. It has purple flesh.
Why don't y'all just call it purple chicken then?
So you mean 50 grams of water to 50 grams of coffee? Yeah, you can do that. I mean, it's just a start point, right? Start point. But that's a lot of coffee. 50 grams of coffee bean is a lot. I don't know if people realize how much. 50 grams of coffee is like 2.5 double shot espressos. So 5 shots of espresso. That's a lot of beans. Friends use it. He got sick with mushroom. What the? What? What are we talking about here? See, that's the thing I'm talking about with this cigar. So you have to smoke it really slow, and it's kind of finicky. Sometimes it burns out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it burns well. Now, granted, I didn't let this really sit. It only been here for 1 day, so. But this thing is spicy today. I think it's because I haven't smoked it for a while. I kind of forget how it tastes like. Green tea, spice,
the name of the cigar is risky.
What risky?
That's a risky name for a cigar, man, because I don't think a whole lot of people like wasabi.
Right, but I don't think a lot of names were expecting people to think that it's gonna taste like such. So.
No, but it associates the name. The name is associated with an experience. And what do we typically do with wasabi in our little thing? We normally keep that aside, and we don't worry about it.
I mean, the design cue does say wasabi, right? And I guess it's trying to tell people that number one is green. Number two, it is spicy. It is spicy. Just it's not wasabi kind of spicy. It's just spicy.
Yeah, just spicy, right? So you'd think they would use a name that people would think good things about, not something that they would not think good things about. I'm just saying it's risky. I think it's risky.
Yeah, in a way it is. Yeah. I'm gonna have a nice bone broth when I finish my fast. Might go for 5 days. What? You don't have to fast. Your body. Here's the thing. People don't understand this. Okay, is that your body is very smart. It filters things out. Even when you don't eat. When you actually don't eat, you're actually putting more pressure on your body because now your body has to start breaking things apart to give you energy rather than taking whatever that's immediately available in your liver to use. So you might think that it's cleansing your liver, but your liver is empty from 10 hours after you eat.
I fast every day, man.
Yeah, I mean short-term fasting is fine. You're waiting for your liver to catch up.
Overnight from dinner to the next morning, and then I break it with a breakfast.
Okay, but here's the thing. Your liver only keeps 100 grams of carbohydrate. Okay, 10 hours. On average, it's like every hour you break 10 grams of carbohydrate from your liver. So 10 hours later, you don't have much in your liver anymore. That's why overnight kind of sleep is kind of the way a human body does its cleansing. But if you fast for 10 days, you're not cleansing anymore. Your body is washing. You're thinking that water is actually going through your liver and washing your liver. That's not how it works. Right? The material is not. It's breaking down by the liver chemically, not physically. So drinking the water isn't gonna necessarily wash away, right? So in a way, if I put a cigar at the corner of the sink, right? And then let the water wash the cigar will wash through the sink, correct? But if the sink itself is porous and it starts to seep through water, that's actually gonna make the cigar stick onto that sink a little bit more because the surface tension. So it's not really, you know, I would say if you got fast, 24 hours is a good amount of time. Any other than that, you're causing a different kind of set of situation for your body. That's just your body's gotta think that it's trying to starve. So 24 hours to 48 hours max is all you need to fast. Don't try to like water fast for 10 days. That doesn't do anything. All right, so 1 to 2 is a cupping ratio. It's a weight ratio. Yeah, it's a start point, 1 to 2, right? For example, if I do espresso, right? I do, 18 grams of beans grounded, and I do 36 grams of water coming out. And from that point, now you get the as much as gotta wash from that espresso, and then you add water to it, and then it's gonna dilute that to a point, right? So it really depends how you do it. It depends how fine your coffee is. If your coffee is really, really, really fine, then yeah, you need more water. If your coffee is really, really, really coarse, it's gotta run right through it, then you'll have to pour more water, right? So you just taste it as you go. Taste it as you go, right? So you need, basically 1 to 2 is a starting point. 1 to 2 is a starting point. It's just gotta, all you gotta get is like a double shot, right? When you do 1 to 2, all right? And then maybe at the end, you gotta end up with 1 to 10 ratio just to get there, all right? But start with 1 to 2, see how dark it is, and then is that something you like? Smell it, and once you like it, you add more water to wash it off, right? When you pour over, you're supposed to do it in stages. So when you do 1 to 2, you gotta find out when it's dark enough for you. Then you can add water to it as you go. But if you just go, I'm gonna do this pour, and I gotta do 12 ounces of water right in there without really seeing what's going on. I'm just gonna dump it all in there. You gotta get a very watered down coffee. So it really depends. It really depends, right? So for me, I always start with 1 to 2, right? And like Joe, he did 20 grams of coffee. 20 grams of coffee technically will make you an entire pitcher of coffee. It'll make you an entire pitcher of coffee. You only need 15 grams of coffee beans per cup of coffee, right? But once you do 20, you 2 cup pitcher. You get a pitcher this big, one of those right under your thing. You will be able to fill that up. So.
You just told me to do 12 ounces, man.
12 ounces, I think, is enough for that particular coffee.
For the amount that you gave me.
I give you 20 grams in there.
That's 20 grams?
Yeah, that's 20 grams in there. Yeah, 20 grams. Basically a double shot in there. I put it like enough. I basically grabbed 2 handfuls in there.
So how many is how many ounces is, what's the weight of 12 ounces then?
Well, ounces is volume. So.
But what's that relate to transfer to weight though? So I know.
Okay. I have to do a conversion, so I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. It should be an easy conversion, right? So, 12 ounce, 2 grams. 340 grams. 340 grams.
So 20 to 340, that's the 1 to 17 ratio.
Yeah, but again, that's in the extreme, right? So that's why I say you gotta go as you look at it, not, because 20 grams of coffee, you can literally make a whole pitcher of coffee. It depends what method you're going at it, right? If I'm making an espresso Americano, I'm using 18 grams, right? But 18 grams is, that portion is that only 18 grams. Whatever I'm adding down more water, that's not washing off the bean anymore. It's not taking anything from the bean anymore. You know what I'm saying? I only have this much. I only have about 36 grams of water, coffee water sitting there. And then when I add water, it dilutes that. But when you do a pour over, you keep adding the water, that water just keep pouring down from the coffee. so it doesn't get diluted as much as how I do it. Does that make sense?
Yep. All right.
So, but give it a try. You know, however like method that you use is however that fits you. For me, I like the essence of coffee. I like to drink, you know, the best part of that coffee, right? So I don't usually pour over, because pour over, I feel like pour over is not getting the best part of it out, right? It's like, how do I describe it? It's like getting a cup of bone broth essence versus a bowl of bone broth.
So how do I need to do this thing, man? Pour over?
Well, you can only do pour over. Do you have an espresso machine at home?
Oh, I see. Yeah, so you're making basically espresso with it, and then you're pouring more water in. I got you. I understand that.
Americano is espresso base, add water. The opposite is called the long black. So you can add water first and then pour espresso over it. It's called the long black. One of them has more oil. You'll actually see more oil on it. The other one has less.
Okay.
It really depends how you drink it. I mean, like, for example, a latte, right? Latte will put espresso in there first, add foam milk on top, steam milk on top, right? But iced latte, you'll put the milk first, you dump the espresso on top.
Right.
So it really depends how you want to drink it. But I'm kind of glad this whole thing worked out. Like, I have to say, I'm glad. I know we came out with coffee that people actually like. And we came out with things that people enjoy. And, you know, and we were able to source it, right? We'll be able to source it. So, the Artisan coffee, I have no choice. I had to fill my minimum order, so I had to source it continuously until I finished it. But if people like it, you know, then it could be something that we can always do, you know. We can be blended with something else so that the price goes down a little bit too. It doesn't have to be like that pure. I sent an entire bag, what's 100 gram of coffee to one of my friends. Literally, she finished that entire 100 gram in a day. She liked it so much, she finished the entire 100 gram of coffee a day.
No.
Well, like she's like latte after latte after latte after latte. That 100 gram was gone.
Yeah.
But in the end, she still paid less than going to Starbucks. Right? If she was to order, you know, 5 or 6 cup of latte from Starbucks at $5.65 a cup. Let's say it's $5. Right? There's about 6 cup in there. So you're looking at, you know, about $30 plus tax and then some, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 36 plus tax, about 40 something dollars of a grande. Maybe a grande. I think tall or grande from Starbucks. That's equivalent, if not more, than what she did with her own coffee. And that's if she used double shot in every single one of them. You know, if she used single shot, she'll probably get more. It really depends on the person. So. I don't know. Smoking this sometimes makes me like, how much longer would it take to finish this? Because I had to smoke so slowly and it burns my nose because of the pepper. It burns my nose. I'm not saying that it's a bad cigar. It's just not a cigar that you can smoke and chat in a really relaxed situation, right? Because I smoke this while I read, right? And when I read, I don't really think about how long the cigar still needs to be smoked, right? Because when you read a really good book, you'll get stuck on that book for a long time. 2 hours, 3 hours, easy, right? Easy. When my wife was reading, you cannot drag her off that book. She will just read. She'll read until her eyes hurt, and then she will stop. Like a lot of time, if she was just at the bed reading, and then she was waiting for me to finish my thing,
Right.
by the time I finished, it's like 5 a.m. and she's still reading. I was like, "Did you know it's 5 a.m. already? Don't you have to work tomorrow?" And she's like, "Oh shit, it's 5 already." You know that happens all the time.
Oh yeah, I did that once. I was trying to read a book, and we had a speaker come into our class. I was in college, and it was he was the CEO of Southwest Airlines when 9/11 happened, 2001,
Okay.
and he was a guest speaker, and we knew about it a long time, ahead of time, but there was a book we had to buy for the class, and that was one of them. And I'm like, well, shit, he's gonna come, so I want to be able to ask a couple questions that would be good. So I started reading this book. Well, I started reading about 10 o'clock, and about 2 o'clock in the morning, I finished it.
Well, you say it was Southwest. I thought the one that ran the 9/11 was United.
No, he was the CEO of Southwest during that time frame.
Oh, okay. So his plane wasn't related. Okay, because I remember it was United.
Yeah, he wasn't related to it wasn't related to the accident, but certainly affected, right? He offered everybody a refund. He called up and said,
Oh, because nobody can fly. It was
nobody could fly, and so they had all these tickets, right? And so he called his finance and he's like, hey, what would happen if everybody got a refund? And he's like, oh, it wouldn't be good. It would not be good. And he said, well, but it's the right thing to do. So they went ahead and offered it. And he said they had like 5% asked for their money back. The rest of them were like, keep the money.
Well, that's the thing. That's one of those times where America is really, really united. Everybody's have the common enemy, right? When you have a common enemy, you're like, money is nothing. Money is nothing. Let's go get him. I remember that time where everyone was like, we only know one enemy, and that's it, right?
Yeah, that was it. So yeah, it was pretty amazing though. But he felt like the culture that they developed with their customers and their employees and all that, paid off in that moment. So,
I have never ever once fly Southwest Airlines.
Really?
Yeah. I heard a lot of good things about them, but obviously, the recent year, I think there was some bad ones, bad happening or something like that. But I always heard that they were fun on the airplane. They were, they tend to make it more relaxed. They joke about their pre-flight announcement, pre-flight checkup, and stuff like that. They were just having fun. A lot of them were having fun on that kind of stuff. So,
right.
So that's what I heard, but. I tend to fly United because fly miles. I fly a lot, so we have fly miles.
Sure.
And I tend to fly. If I'm flying Japan, I'm flying either or, All Nippon Airline (ANA) or Japanese airline (JAL). Those were the two flights that I fly on. If I'm flying to Japan at all, it has to be those two flights.
Right.
And the only reason is because they offer Japanese food on there. I really don't like the airplane food. I really don't. They taste trash.
Right.
Right? Aside from the first class ones. Okay, first class one, I get to keep ordering over again. But I can tell you, I can never eat enough to fill that $12,000 ticket.
Right.
I can eat the entire way and drink the entire way, and still not gonna make that $12,000 back.
No, you're not. You're not thinking.
Usually when I fly JAL, it costs about $1,500 a person ticket, round trip. And I'm looking at the food. At least, I get the food and 3 side dishes, drink, whatever. And there is Japanese wine and beer on there, so I get to enjoy that too. That's the only way. That's if I fly American airline, I gotta have few flight that doesn't have those. If I fly any other airline, I'm gonna eat you want beef or chicken, right? Is that you want beef or chicken? Can I have something else? You know, literally, if I fly a lot of different airlines, I bring my own food onto the plane. I will go into the, you know, I'll get there early, and then I'll go to one of the restaurants nearby and buy food.
Right, bring it on. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Like my wife would literally go to a restaurant called Stephanie's and order of bolognese and go on the airplane to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
That bolognese is $20.
Right.
For this long.
Right. But it's good.
It does taste good. It does taste good. I personally, like, you know, if I'm gonna get there, I usually get a hamburger. Because hamburger is easy to eat. I don't have to clean up that much. You know, you only have that little space. So, you know, there's no way to really enjoy food. In my opinion, there's no way to really enjoy food. I don't know how everybody flies, but that's how I fly. You know, and if you fly into China, you gotta do it with the Hainan airline because they have straight flight. And obviously Chinese food.
Mm-hmm.
Chinese food. But here's a bad thing though. I think, and this might happen to anybody else though. This could be at any other airline, okay? Is that Chinese people let their kid go wild on the airplane.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a tough flight for kids, man.
I dare to eat baloo on the airplane. I guarantee you make at least almost. Well, true, but you cannot bring baloo into the airport. You will not pass immigration. You will not pass the security check. You can't bring that through. So there's no point. I can't bring that through. But yeah, when I fly those Asian flights, especially the Chinese airline, the parents will let their kids run crazy, scream, and do that. Like I need to calm down and work. Like, can I just get quietness? Can I just, you know, because when you go on an airplane on a night flight, they turn off all the lights. They let everybody sleep. Right? If you want to watch a movie, sure, but they turn off the lights. But for Asian flight, you'll see kids running down the hallway, just that walkway, just bolt down there, and then like, you know, whoa, what's wrong with that? By the time you say, whoa, what's wrong with that? The kid is going opposite direction again, and that was normal. That was normal. I feel like I am on that movie called The Soul Plane. I don't know if you guys ever watched that with the Snoop Dogg, Soul Plane, where like they have the poor area in the back, and it's just like really badly run. Everybody's going crazy. That's
Right.
how it feels like. So I literally don't like to do that. But yeah. I haven't really fly for a whole year, which is a good thing, I guess. Which is a good thing. My father-in-law's birthday was yesterday, and yesterday he's like, "We haven't go anywhere as a family for a whole year." I was like, "No shit." Right? It's like we need to go somewhere together. I was like, "Yeah, if you pay." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll pay. I was like, "What? Yeah, it's good that you offer to pay, except there is no place to go." Where can you go on vacation right now as a family?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
So Governor Abbott, man, he's lifting the mask mandate.
I think that lifting the mandate doesn't change anything because the store can still mandate you to have.
Sure.
Right? So that's just like because even if they mandate mask, there's not much of a way to enforce that. Right. So not much way to enforce that, and there's no point. I mean, I guess they left the mandate so that nobody complains. Because even if they were the mandate, nobody's doing it anyway. You do it because you want to, not because you know. So, and I think that part of it is it a political suicide? Yes, it is. All right, let's be honest on that. That is a political suicide. However, I think people is like we see no different.
Yeah.
And in the end, it only like there is a research on this. Okay, what happens if U.S. did nothing, zero, nothing about COVID-19? They say that in the long term, it'll be the same thing. Basically, people who's gotta catch it will catch it faster, and then get over with it. And people who's not gonna catch it is not gonna catch it. And even if you wear a mask, you'll prolong that, right? You'll prolong that, and then you'll still end up with the same result. Well, almost the same result, if anything. They say that because everybody gets sick faster, you will have the herd immunity faster, but also you'll increase amount of death right there, right away. But that'll be the first year, second year, and then you're just done. That's it. The end. Everybody else who had caught it the first time probably not gonna catch it the second time. You know, it's almost the same thing as having a vaccine, except you'll actually feel being sick, right? You actually be sick, and then your body will have the same reaction as if you had the vaccine. Same thing.
Yeah, I think you're on to something with that.
There's a research on it. There's actually a simulation where they put one person with just like basically it's red, right? And then the software basically makes everybody who touches it with a chance to turn red, right? And with the chance to turn red, they also a chance to turn back to black again. And they just let that run. And in the end, nobody was red. Everybody was black. But you will have a large amount of death onto the side. So they did both simulation where as people wear masks won't get it, but has a smaller chance to get it. Run the same simulation. Again, same amount of people die. So I'm kind of glad in a way. It says that by May, everybody will have enough vaccine. That's just what they say. All right. That's just what they say. If they say, okay, by May, there will be enough vaccine for every American, which I think that statement's kind of, it's like, come on, there's a lot of people in America that's not American, right? What do you constitute as American? Just people with an American passport?
Yeah, I think the same people in America.
Right, so we have a lot of people that's not passport, on visa, or whatever reason. You're not gonna count those two? I don't know. So, at least we know by May, it will be easier to travel around.
Yeah. Which means in September we should be all right, huh?
I hope so. But that's the thing. Our key people has gotten COVID. Right? Travis got it. I think Brendan got it. Michael got it. What, didn't you get it already? You got it. So, like, pretty much more than half the people are like that. No way, really? Is it on Facebook? Luis Cuevas? IG? Oh no, it's IG, right? IG. Okay. I'll take a look.
That's funny.
Is it on Casa Cuevas? Or is it Luis Cuevas? Which one?
Did he buy something from Little Guy in order to get it?
I went to Nick's page. I don't see it. Let me see Lewis. Did he tag him? He didn't tag him. Alec. Nope, not here. I don't know. Somebody go up there and tag Shadow Smoke's Legion so I get to see it later. So yeah, in terms of travel, I think by September we should be okay. The news on the September thing, the cigar, I'm still working on it. Pretty much, I don't know if I showed it to you. I don't know. I only showed it to Brendan. We have some more decoration that we are working on. So hopefully that will work out fine. I had to keep puff on this because this will go out if I don't. Okay, so for June, all right, we are doing something like 1 ticket a person raffle, right? I might have to increase the price on the raffle to make sense, but there's only one grand prize, and the grand prize will be a Shadow Smoke's Legion Humidor. Okay, a Shadow Smoke's Legion Humidor. It's not gonna be like crazy, but at least it will be a Shadow Smoke's Legion one. So, once I get it, I'll show it to you guys. But I think that will be a good price to go with. I probably put some cigars in there too while I'm at it. So that's the plan for that. So that way,
Man, got to get Martine to donate one of his His Wanadors, man.
Right?
Shit.
Like he's getting one of the one after Wanadors. I don't
So
particularly
good,
like
brother.
Wanadors after years of using it, so it might just be me. Like I really, Massachusetts is one of those places that gets really cold in the winter and really warm in the summer, right? But I feel like, you know, if I'm putting my cigars in the living room, it doesn't really matter because my living room is conditioned, right?
Right.
So it doesn't get to that peak. Unless I put it in my basement, right? If I put it in my basement, yeah, it will be too cold. But then like average Wanador doesn't have the heat. The one that I have does, but even that I still didn't put in my basement because I'm
Right.
usually upstairs. So, and when I smoke on my deck, you know, that's the exit is from my dining room. So I still had to go to the living room to grab the cigar. I don't want to come down the basement just to get the cigar. So.
Right.
A lot of people are returning those A40s because damaging shipping. That is true. You will get you have higher chance to get damages on the Wanadors. I think when I got mine was damaged. I had to send it back. I had to get a second one. So. Okay, here we go. Went out again. See, that's the problem with smoking and Candela. Like it's hard. It's hard. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
all right, he got it now.
Do you guys just saw that? I hold this lighter backwards and I press it too hard. I actually lit on my pinky. Is that gonna burn? It's not really. It's just hot. I was like, holy shit. Torch my own pinky. Alright, let me see. Luis Cuevas. That's the picture? I saw that picture. Hold on. I did see that picture. Hold on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, here we go. He didn't tag Matt though. Matt Hashimoto, I don't know if he had a tag, but you know. Long overdue on Matt. Support, dedication, premium cigars. Oh, he put Shadow Smokers Legion on there too. He had a Shadow Smokers Legion, but didn't tag it either. All good. All good. I'll go tag our own later, you know. So, yeah,
That's funny.
I mean, Wednesday. Oh, I just saw that, yeah. Wednesday, I had a tired week. I mean, today I literally spent all day cleaning my dog's pee everywhere. Now, my dog went on a steroid treatment for her, and she had breathing problems, right? So they say that a lot of times it's either allergy or just because
She got the COVID, dog COVID.
No. Like a canine cough. And as they get older, their trachea and lungs is weaker. So
Yeah.
she went on this steroid treatment. Okay, that steroid does have one side effect, is that it makes her drink a lot of water and it makes her pee. And another part is it makes her muscle weaker, so she cannot hold her pee. So she's peeing everywhere. So I'm like literally cleaning up. All day I'm just cleaning up pee because I can't really yell at her for peeing because, you know, she can't help it, right? And you know, her pee spot is actually on the 3rd floor, so she had to run up the stair. But because the muscles weaken, she can't go up the stair. So we, like, you know, during the day I'm in my office, I'm doing my work, I just forgot about time. And when I come downstairs, piles of pee everywhere. Maybe like a small pile of shit somewhere too. And that's what I do all day. Literally, like every 30 minutes, an hour, I come downstairs, clean up pee.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, but it's really not the dog's fault. It's really not the dog's fault. So, you know, I had to take care of that. And I feel like that's what I did all day. I didn't feel like I did a lot, like what I want to get done, you know. Negotiate with you know, vendors and try to get things done. The cigar ban we have for audit, there was an issue with it, and I didn't even notice the issue. Like I didn't even see that message. I didn't even see that email. So that was one of them. and you know, I didn't really get to look into making the coin for
That's ironic, Tony,
what?
that you overlooked the audit problem.
No, I didn't. I did not overlook. I didn't even see it. So it's not
Right.
like
That's
if
what
I
I'm saying.
overlook, if I overlook, it's not because I looked at it and I missed it, right?
That's what people do. They forget about the audit, or they don't see it, or whatever.
But this one is like literally I didn't even check it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what's ironic about it.
So, and another thing is that I know people want the cap for the next coin to be for the Glencairn to cover the cap, right? So I have few like you see these rings, I see which one fits, and I have the sizings down. I have the sizings, but I haven't looked into how we gotta gap the little ridge so that it will fit. I haven't got to that yet. You know, and the only thing is that because I'm in my office, I can pack stuff while I'm doing other stuff. And that's what I'm doing. And it's really funny because we're doing a meeting, you're talking to somebody, and all of a sudden you take that tape and go, psh,
Oh yeah.
you know? Everybody's like, what's that sound? I say, don't worry about it. Psh. The whole time I'm doing that. Psh. My wife heard it. She's like, what is that noise? I was like, just tape. Psh.
That's funny.
Kat says, get some pee pad. I do have pee pad. Like I say, she cannot hold her pee, so she will like, oh, I need to pee. Get up. As soon as she get up, she leaves.
Oh, put a diaper on her, man. Put a diaper on her. Diaper. They got diapers for dogs.
They do, but I think that will actually just make it worse. I think that will make it worse because I wouldn't know. I wouldn't remember to go change it. I wouldn't know when, right? So, like now, constantly I have to go touch it. It's like, hey, is it wet? Is it warm? You know, and it'll get them rash too. I don't
They
know.
need to change colors, man. They need to make it change colors.
That might help, but the thing is that they will get rash if you don't change it right after. You know, it's like a baby, right? You know, baby, if you don't change the diaper right away, they get diaper rash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want to do that to my dog. So, you know, cleaning up is cleaning up. That it is what it is. It is what it is. You know,
It is what it is, man. Yep.
So the good news is that those pins that I show you guys, these pins, I sent it out today, and I just have to make sure, you know,
That's cool.
Michael's gotta keep it in some, you know, when you guys get cigars, you'll toss in there. You know, now I know some people's like, Tony, why do you guys gotta make us buy something so that we get that pin? Like, why do you want to do that, Tony? And I understand it. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Hold on. Why would people ask that? It's pretty obvious.
It's not obvious. What's your obvious reason? I'll tell you why my reason is.
Because you're promoting people in the group, man.
Mm-mm.
All right.
The reason is because these things takes money to ship them. Right?
Oh yeah.
It costs envelope. It costs shipping. Now you say, well, Tony, I'll just pay you the few dollars to ship them. Right? But still.
Right.
I mean, what would be a reasonable price to charge you guys? It wouldn't make sense. Right? For this one pin, you gotta pay $1 for the envelope, $1 for my ink and labels, and then you gotta pay a few dollars shipping. Why don't you just get some cigars and then you can get a pin shipped with it at no weight at all? This thing has no weight at all.
I still think it benefits the group. Or benefits.
Yeah, I mean, indirectly it does benefit the group, but the point is that, you know, I want to give to you guys this without having you guys go crazy at actually paying money for this, right? I want you guys to be able to get it without having to pay extra for things that you really don't want to pay for. Shipping is one thing that I hate people pay. I hate paying myself. When I order cigars or something like that, if I look at paying like $8 shipping, I might not even buy the cigar just because of that. You know?
Can't smoke shipping.
You can't smoke shipping. But if you buy a cigar to go with it, you gotta smoke a cigar anyway. You can get this. And I think that's a much more efficient way to get something like this all packed in there for you and not having to pay shipping separately. You know, they just ship it to you while you're at it.
That makes sense.
Right? So this is why I do it. Right? Now the question is, will you guys buy cigar more than the coffee or coffee more than the cigar? I don't know. So I give it to you know. You gotta know that still work. Somebody still has to take it, put it in the box, and ship it to you. Right? For me, I have to drive down to the post office to ship it to you. Whereas I can ship to one place and then Michael have people pick up. Right? So in the end, it's which way was easier for me to hand over some free stuff without too much work. You know, because everybody just pay me like $6-7 to this. You really want to pay $6 for this? I mean, I could. If you want to pay $6 for this, sure, you know, fine. But it wouldn't make sense. And trust me, these things it doesn't like just stay in a flat envelope. This thing will poke through that envelope. You know, if you guys remember when I shipped the pen to you guys, a lot of people's pen was bent. Where the needle is, where the pen is, this part was bent. It's because it was not in a box. It's in the bag, and they put heavy stuff on top of that bag, so it bent. Now I have to ship it to you guys box. Then you know, box costs money, right? Do I really mind that? I don't, but it wouldn't make sense to ship you something this small with a box bigger than this. I only have a box. I order a bunch of one size box, and they are bigger than this, right? Because all my box had to fit like a 6-inch cigar, so they're big. Right?
Besides, you got to buy a whole bunch of wasabis just to have enough boxes.
Right? So it wouldn't make sense for me to do this kind of stuff to you guys. So okay. So every time I release one pin, you gotta pay $6. Here's $12. $12 you can buy 2 cigars, or 3, or 4, depends on what you buy. It wouldn't make sense. It would not make sense, right? Buy some cigars you like to smoke, and then get that for free. Why not? And another thing is that I only have a limited amount of those. So, you know, having someone else choose who to send to is better than having me to choose who to send to. Because my wife would just like, send to everybody. Really? Right? And that's a way to kind of reward people who are supporting the brand. Who are supporting Shadow Smokes Legion members. Right? I send out poker chips, those demo poker chips I made. I send it out to Michael, and one type to Michael, the other type to Tim. And I told them basically put like 25 cents or something like that extra to the to add to recover the postage, because I send stuff to them, it costs postage and box and stuff like that. You know, that way we can continue to make more new stuff without going, you know, negative on everything. Because you know, every year we're running Shadow Smokes Legion at deficit. So
makes sense.
So I want to make sure we can continue to do that, you know, that kind of free stuff. Money has to go from somewhere, and hopefully, you know, all that stuff will balance out. You know, so I send all that stuff to them. Supporting them indirectly supports yourself because you get all the free stuff. I don't make money out of these. I just make them. So, you know, I hope everybody understand where that came from. You know, because if I want to sell them, I would just put it on and sell them. How do we get the chip I sent Michael? Basically, I just had to, you know, once you receive it, buy something from him, he would just throw in there. I just tell him, just throw in there as you see fit. You know, talk to Michael, say, I want one of those things, throw in my order. He will. Right? I literally did not say, you know, have everybody buy that. Right? I just say, somebody buy something, just throw them in there.
He didn't send me a chip.
Huh?
He didn't send me a chip.
Because I just sent it out today. I literally just sent it out today.
Oh, well, shit. I should have waited.
You know, so what did you order?
I should have waited. I got like my
you got sticker, right?
Habano.
But you got sticker.
Yeah, I got stickers and stuff, but the chip is cool too. People like chips. But I got a short stack Habano, got some Cameroons. I got your Assassin pack with the little coffee thing. So
you actually got the gold bag, which, you know.
Yeah, he hooked me up. He hooked me up. I'm not saying bad. So,
yeah, so
it was good.
I know. Like I told him, like I only have so much of things. Just give it out as, you know, as they see fit. I did not say don't give it to Albert. You know, I said give him out as you see fit.
You didn't say that? All right. Well, thank you, man.
You know, I don't know what they are. That wasabi cigar is pretty good, but you can see I keep having to relight this thing, and this is what the problem I talk about. It's like you have to smoke it slow, and when I smoke it slow, I tend to have to relight over again. That's my problem. You know, that's my problem.
Colombo smoke green cigars.
Who?
Colombo.
Well, at his time, yeah, maybe.
And I read about that he was not a cigar smoker. It was a prop.
Colombo?
Yeah, I mean, it was a real cigar, but it wasn't like he went out and bought a certain cigar and he was a cigar smoker. He just carried around a cigar as a prop, is what I've heard. So.
Makes him feel more manly, then why not? You know?
Well, it made him a little more. I think it made him look a little more seedy, a little more uncouth, because he was in there like these nice houses and stuff, smoking cigars in there. And in fact, there was one episode where this lady was a clean freak, and she was pissed off that he was dumping ashes everywhere and all that. So
yeah. Everybody remember last episode, right, with Bob? Was it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that episode we ran on for an additional hour, right? And I went upstairs, and my wife was like, "What took you so long?" And I was like, "You didn't watch my show?" She's like, "No, I was reading here." And I was like, "Yeah, we talked with Bob for a little bit, extended time." She said, "What you talked about?" Sometimes she asks us what we talk about, and I say, "Well, we're talking about religion and science." She said, "Oh yeah, that's what it is." Okay, yeah. Goodbye. You can go back now.
She won't talk about it.
No, she knows that now. When you talk about religion,
yeah,
it never ends. It never ends, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But that day it took extra long because after I get off the after show, I was on a call with the customer.
Right.
And that took an additional few hours. And when I went back upstairs, she's like, we just talked about religion for 6 hours. I was like, no. Do you think I can listen to religion for 6 hours?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's funny.
Obviously, I can't do that. I mean, it's one of those things. When we believe in something so much, we can go on and on and on, right? Even if we
there's a lot of facets to it, right? There's a lot of different ideas and angles and everything. So
the thing is that if you have a religion that lasts thousands of years or hundreds of years, you already got the story fit together.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody had, like, the whole organization had probably answered all the questions or the variation of the question that people picked up.
Right.
And right, that's how Scientology still works. It's because all the people that ever questioned something, they retaliated and they got the question fixed with the answer.
Yep.
Right? And that's how a cult works, right? A cult, you get faith and you get a question answered right there. Once it makes sense, people follow it. Right?
I'll tell you, I was taking psychology in college, and what I remember about that was, he started talking about these different philosophies, and even if you don't agree with the philosophy, it's almost bulletproof, right? It really is bulletproof. It's hard to. It's almost like a law, like a law of nature, if you will. It's like, because it's so well defended that you can't really prove it wrong. It's hard to prove a philosophy wrong because it's got all the angles kind of worked out, and that's a really interesting. I mean, that's a hard thing to do. Try to come up with something that someone cannot argue against and be right about. You know what I mean, or prove you wrong on, and that's not an easy thing to do.
But you know what the problem is data. It's data.
Yeah.
You and I both educated person, and and so we understand to prove something, you need large amount of data. Right.
Right.
So for religion, it's passed so long, nobody can go back there and get the data.
Right.
Right. Jesus turned water into wine. That's written down, right? But how many people actually tested that water?
Right.
0. Right? There's no way to go get data to disprove it. But because it's written, now there's one support, right? But the science side, there's no support. There's no way to prove it. There's no way to prove it. And that's the same way with cigar. Same way with cigar, right? Here. What we heard the most as a cigar smoker is cigar is bad for you. It's gonna kill you. Right? Cigar is bad for you. It's gonna kill you. That statement is not supported by data. They can't prove it. But we also cannot disprove it.
Yeah.
If we have science to disprove that today, there's nothing the government can say, right? There's so much money dumped into marijuana research that marijuana became legal. Data. But the cigar industry is not really dumping any money into research the viability and the smokability and how long people can live smoking cigars. Right? We have those instances like, when people who survive 120 years old smoking cigars and drinking beer all day or whatever, coffee all day or Coca-Cola all day. But that's one person. That's not a statistic viable data. Because we don't have data, we cannot back it up. We always ask, did you name one person that died from cigar? It's funny because often I hear that person died from cigar. When I ask that back, is somebody actually said Winston Churchill.
Huh, wow. You could now. There's an argument with Ulysses S. Grant that he had throat cancer.
He had throat cancer, but that might not be from the cigar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And same thing with Winston Churchill. He's a heavy drinker, heavy drinker.
Oh, the fat guy too.
Yeah. So there's a lot more problems, but there's no data to support it. Right? Out of us, despite of how we support, smoking cigars totally fine. Look at those generations of people who smoke cigars.
Right.
But there's no data. No one actually put out that data. I would think that if somebody funds the research and the data, that could be much more supportive thing to fight against the FDA than saying that this particular thing is no chemical, whatever. Using a chemical argument, I think, is a bad argument.
Yeah. So get this. So, wow. So he died in 1965. Wow. So yeah. He lived till 90. So.
Even 90 at that time period is over the life expectancy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's huge.
Right? So we don't have enough data. And I think, like I say, I think fighting the FDA by saying that there's no additional chemical, it's a bad argument. Well, number one, nobody understands those chemicals. Number two, everything has a chemical name.
Oh, yeah.
So if you take this cigars and go to a lab and have them break it down, it's got to be full of chemical too. Full of chemicals. You're going to be looking at a list of 100 chemicals. Easy.
Well, even the pesticides and stuff, right? That are
well, the thing is that you're not supposed to be able to trace the pesticides in these grown products. Just like the coffee. They don't test the coffee itself. They test the soil, whether or not there's a residual pesticide.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So,
all right.
By arguing, says, okay, cigarette has all those chemicals, including arsenic and stuff like that, in there. But that is a burn result. That is after the chemical has changed. They're not taking the same. They're taking the tobacco, put in the water, and will burn it, and then break down those chemicals from there, right? You can do that for anything. You can put chicken into research and probably find chemical in there, right? And the same thing with cigar. If you just argue that there is absolutely zero harmful chemical in cigars, you're in a losing battle. Because literally every chemical is bad for you. Right? Every chemical. In fact, I think vitamin B, and all the vitamins that we eat today are synthetic. And they were all made from deadly chemicals. I think vitamin B or something like that was made out of a chemical that would literally kill you if you just eat it straight.
I'm gonna go get that coffee real quick. I'll be right back.
Sure. So that's what I'm talking about, right? In terms of fighting the battle to make cigar being recognized as a safe product or safer product than cigarette. That's a losing battle. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. I think it's a losing battle by saying that the chemical in here is just grown tobacco. There's nothing else in there. It's 100% tobacco. That doesn't win the argument. That doesn't win the argument, right? For marijuana, when they research it, the CD, CBD, TH, whatever, there's gotta be other product or byproduct from burning that leaf. You don't just get THC, you don't just get CBD, you get something else too. But they focus a research on those products being good for you or being scientifically good for you. And that's why eventually they want the bottle to say there is a medicinal use for it. So, we were able to use that. Cigar doesn't have that. Cigar doesn't have that. The only thing about cigar is that it's been grandfathered in with a lot of stuff. What does that mean? It means people have been using it so long that we're okay with it. We're okay with it, right? You've been eating chicken for so long that, if one day they say chicken is bad for you, your argument will be that we've been eating chicken for the last 2,000 years, we're fine. I don't know if that's the argument that people will be using. But I think that's like one supporting statement to say we've been eating it for that long, we're fine. People still live to 100, right? But cigar, no data, zero. Who's funding that? And I really think that that's something that cigar companies should do, is to do an actual third-party research to find out every single chemical that's in there, or it might be negative. It might be negative, right? But to see if there is a room for argument. Whether or not those result will support that it is somewhat safer product. All right. So Craig said, I think there's worse chemical out there that will harm you more than cigar. Yeah, I say this many times. Sugar is more deadly than cigar. Sugar is, I think, you can call sugar a narcotic if you want to call it that, right? Why? Sugar makes you feel good. Literally make you feel good. Sugar makes you do that. Sugar is very addicting. If you eat a little bit of sugar, something candy, you'll want to eat another one, right? Sugar is addicting. So it alters your mood. It's addicting. Isn't that a narcotic? Isn't that a narcotic? Right? If you eat so much sugar, it makes you obese. It literally has the same withdrawal symptom if you don't eat sugar anymore. If you don't eat sugar anymore. And then you gotta say, oh well, Tony, this in terms of sugar, not everything has sugar. Not everything has sugar. I'll beg the difference. Majority of the thing either have a little sugar, very little, or have a little bit of carbohydrate, which breaks down to glucose. Everything has sugar, right? Everything has sugar. And if they don't have sugar in it, they have something else in it. So the argument of like not everything has sugar doesn't stand. Everything that you go out there, buy there, that probably has some sugar. The bread has sugar. The noodles have sugar. Pasta have sugar. Everything, cake, sugar. In all your food, the recipe might have a little bit of sugar, or flour, or wheat, or anything that has grain, that has gluten, that has sugar, that breaks down to glucose. Right? And then you stop somebody eating it, they'll have withdrawal symptoms. Now, if you don't know how withdrawal symptom feels like, it's very simple. Go on a ketogenic diet for 2 weeks. You will have that withdrawal symptom. It's called keto flu. You have flu-like symptom. You have fever. You feel hot. You feel tired. You feel weak. There is a withdrawal symptom for not having enough sugar. Right? And does your body need that much sugar? No. Your body can break down everything else to make glucose. Right? It can break down protein to be glucose. Protein is called protein because it's most important. It can break down to pretty much everything that you need in your body. Protein. Right? So everything has sugar. And it's that dangerous. People can die from sugar. People can die. You can overdose on sugar. sugar high, and you heard of sugar high before, right? You can overdose on sugar, literally. Regardless what the reason is, there are much worse chemical, right? We have those like fake sugar, sucrose, and all that stuff. Those are chemicals that your body can break down. Technically, those are bad for you, right? And salt can kill you. Everything we eat within balance, within reason, it's gotta have some sort of effect. Okay. When you go overboard on anything, doesn't matter what you eat. You can eat. Just think of your favorite food. Okay, favorite food in the world. If you eat excess amount of it, you can still die from it. It doesn't matter what it is. All right. You know, anybody from the chat room can tell me one thing that they think that you can OD on and not die. Everything you eat, if you OD on it, you will die. You'll die. So everything within reason is fine. Everything is within reason is fine. And then with everything that we eat today, everything we drink, water, you know, your tap water has got trace amount of chemicals. That at a good amount, it will kill you. Right? A lot of people live in a region where have hot water. Hot water is literally just what, calcium or minerals. But OD on those, it will kill you. It will give you a kidney stone. It will. Everything out there is something that might do some sort of bodily harm to you if you have enough of it. Albert, did you just grind that coffee without any sound?
I was in the other room, man. I was in the house.
That was quick. That was quick. So yeah, there is a lot of chemical that can harm you. That's worse than cigars. I mean, obviously, we don't have data to back that up. But based on what can cause your body to go to being sick, diabetes is like #1 reason why Asians die. Diabetes.
Asians?
Obesity. Yeah, Asians. I think #1, well, the top few reason people die in Japan is stomach cancer. Okay. Diabetes. And what was the other one? Exhaustion. Exhaustion was one of the #1 reason why people die in Japan. And a lot today. I mean, people don't realize that you can work to death in Japan. A lot of people in Japan, their reason of death is work to death. They work so hard, they die. Right? So, now in terms of that, if diabetes was a top reason, aside from cancer, I mean, cancer could be genetic. I mean, obviously, diabetes can be genetic too. But I'm talking about type 2 diabetes. It's a lot of Asians get type 2 diabetes. And you're like, why? Why would people die from diabetes? I mean, Japan people are not necessarily fat. Obviously, exception will be sumo wrestlers. But sumo wrestlers got so much muscle, they can literally, if they don't eat for a few days, they just all you see is muscle. Those sumo wrestlers force fed themselves. They don't have to be that big. They have so much muscle underneath that if they don't eat for a few days, they actually lost weight. Or they don't eat as much as what they should, what they would, they will lose weight. It's a common practice to gain weight as a sumo wrestler. So that's separate. But majority Asians are skinny, right? America is probably one of the fattest country in the world. Agree?
Oh yeah.
And why do you think that?
Fast food.
Fast food, bread, spaghetti noodles, right? Cake, whipped cream, sugar,
milk.
Well, milk not necessarily. There are countries that really drink a lot of milk. That would be fine. I mean, for example, India, they drink a lot of goat milk. They do, right? So a lot of food they use goat milk. So milk, like putting milk aside, right? Those sugar stuff is what makes you big, make you want to keep eating more, right? I mean, when you eat McDonald's, the meat has sugar in it, the bread has sugar in it, right? The drink that goes with it.
High fructose corn syrup. That's a big part of it.
That is one of the biggest thing because it's like 50 times sweeter than sugar. That's a lot of sweetener in there. That's 50 times sweetened the sugar, and it's something that your body have hard time breaking down. Very hard time breaking down. So if you can't break it down, it stores. Right? It stores in your body. It's really hard to break it apart. I don't know anybody ever seen high fructose corn syrup. It's really thick, clear syrup. Really, really thick, clear syrup. That thing is so sweet. It's bad. It's just bad.
Yeah, watch the documentary about King Corn.
Right? But I think America did this to ourselves.
Oh yeah, we always do it to ourselves, man.
Right? Because we decide to tell everybody grow more corn, subsidy corn, and all that corn. And then Monsanto even DNA changed those corn. And now we have all those things. We have things that we eat, can break it down. So without that, and that is legal in every way. That the FDA says it's okay to use as much fructose syrup you want. Everything.
Yeah.
Right? If you think about that, it's like, wait, we allow this thing to be legally consumed all the time. You know, your breakfast, lunch, dinner, all sugar. But having 1 cigar, 2 cigars a day is too much. It will kill you. In the end, data. No one's collecting those data to prove that cigar is okay. Remember there used to be a research somewhere, we always use it for our arguments, that FDA says 1 to 2 cigars a day pretty much don't change your risk of cancer. There we go, that looks good. That looks good, that looks fine. It's supposed to have a tea-like color. There we go, give it a try.
Where we are, brother.
Smell it first though, give it a good whiff.
Oh yeah. Yep. Kind of smells like tea.
Right?
Yep.
Isn't it weird? It's coffee, but tastes like tea. And it has the coffee finish. It has the coffee finish.
Yeah, it does have that for sure. But it's it smells like tea. Yeah. Oh yeah.
What do you think?
It's not bitter at all.
It could be bitter though. If you add milk to it, immediately turns bitter. Don't add milk to that. Immediately turns bitter as soon as you add milk.
So that's 12 ounces. Is what that is of water?
It's good. I mean, it's got a really clean taste to it. It tastes like tea, right? Very crisp, clean taste. And then it has a coffee finish. It has that finish that tastes like coffee.
Yeah, it does. That's damn good.
See, now you can like, hey, have you known that you can drink coffee and tea at the same time?
Yeah. It definitely has that. It has that. That aroma for sure.
Now, for me, I pick up tea, black tea, like a very nice black tea aroma. I pick up a little bit of those dry, ripe fruit aroma, or sweetness to it. And from that, the coffee bean itself, you can smell some sort closer to a red wine aroma to it if you let it sit enough. The gas that leaks out, the gas that stores, that kind of releases, smells like it. So that's one coffee that actually, aside from people who buy them to drink them, I'll tell them to leave it until the bag is bubbled up. It filled with gas. That gas actually ages that coffee and actually makes it taste better. So I try both. I try one without gassing off, the other one with gassed off. The gas one tastes better. So it is different. I mean, I think that's something that, you know, some people might enjoy it. You know, it's like, I want to drink tea or coffee. I want something that's refreshing a little bit.
So this girl was making latte with it?
You can make latte with it, yes.
She was? That's what she was doing?
She was, but then she wasn't using that particular one. The one that you use is what they call natural process or sun dry process, right? There's another one, it's called a honey treated. It has no honey in there, okay? It has no honey in there. But the process leaves more fruit on there. All right, so the cherry has more meat than the fruit in there. So that when it dries off and then it has a little bit of sweetness from the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So that particular one, if you make latte with it, it tastes like toffee.
Right.
It tastes like a toffee wafer or something like that. It's sweet naturally. So she's drinking that as if it's dessert. And she just all day, just one cup after another as if she's addicted to it. And she's gone. That 100 grams of coffee was gone. But because it was crisp and it's clean, it's so easy to drink, right? You don't feel like you're drinking something really thick. You're drinking something fresh, refreshing. And in the summertime, if you add a little bit of ice to it, you feel like you're drinking iced tea and iced coffee at the same time, right? Now people think I'm crazy when I say that coffee tastes like tea. It does.
It does. Yep.
So, what do you think? Do you think that's something that you will enjoy?
I'm gonna get a bag of it, man. Whenever it comes available.
Cool. And then now, see, now that I get a little bit of credibility, I'm telling you, the tea that I carry, it's amazing.
I get that. I'll try it.
I order so much tea, I'm halfway through it.
Wow.
Because it tastes good. It tastes good. It's very enjoyable. It cleans my palate. You know, after I smoke cigar, I want to drink the tea. I actually wash that taste out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't wash out the smell. You can't get rid of the smell for a day. That's for sure, right? Everybody knows that the cigar smell from the mouth, you can't get rid of it. But the tea will get rid of that taste. That after cigar taste from my mouth. And believe it or not, the coffee that you just drank, healthy. All right, it's got this chemical in there that actually is healthy for your body. It get rid of toxins.
Okay.
So a lot of places are start to use that particular coffee. That's why the coffee is so sought after. It's because it cleans the palate. It cleans it up. It's fresh. You can drink it for whatever that you're doing, right? I mean, there are mornings where it just feel like it's so hot out there. I don't want to drink a hot coffee. Right? You have those days, right? You get up really, really hot, humid. I don't want to have a coffee.
Yeah. Right.
But that's crisp enough to drink. It says, I'm like drinking tea or coffee kind of thing.
Right.
It's healthy. It's good. The tea, it's got this layer of coating onto it. When you drink it, it coats your mouth. It's actually really nice.
Good.
And this is what I meant by, like, you know, everybody should try something at least one time in their life. And they'll find something that's very different. And it's like, oh, okay. Things are expensive for a reason. You know, people are hyping over something for a reason because it was different. It wasn't something that they thought it was.
Right.
Right? We always thought coffee had to taste a certain way. Right? And a lot of people, so long as they have cream and sugar, okay, fine. Right? But you're really drinking cream and sugar. But this kind of coffee, like the after show, the assassin blend, or even this coffee, I hope it will change people's view on coffee. That it could be drink black, just the way it is.
Yeah, that assassin blend was really sweet smelling. It's a different smell, obviously, than this. That's for sure. But yeah, so I'm going to try the after show next.
So I use Tim's coffee bean to infuse a few of the short stacks. Okay, and I infused it. Now it's done. I shipped it out today. That cigar smells so good that I could just eat the cigar. It smells like some really sweet coffee cookie or something like that.
What did you do? Did you do the Connecticut's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so I use it to put it inside a container, sealed container, with the dry coffee beans for a few weeks. And then I wet those coffee. I don't take the coffee bean and wet it with distilled water. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Just enough to wet it. And I put the I put the cigar in there again, cover it up, so that it starts to absorb those moisture because the cigar's dry. After you put it with coffee, all the moisture is being taken away, right? Put it in there, it starts to absorb those things, and the cigar looks like it's got some sort of black disease or something like that, some sort of disease, okay? But it smells so good that I literally just left the cap off in my room, and my room smells like some sort of really nice coffee candle.
That's funny.
It smells so good. So I feel like, people might actually like this thing because it smells so good.
How long did you leave? How long did you leave it in there with the wet beans?
2 days.
Okay.
I didn't want it to leave it too long because the reason why things mold is because all those things that's in the water, right? But once you put distilled water with coffee, you're taking whatever that's on the coffee surface onto the cigar too. So I don't want to leave it too long so that the whole thing is soaked like no tomorrow. So I just put it in there long enough so that it takes on the smell, and I take it away, and I put it in a separate container that had nothing in it, Bovita pack in there, try to get the excess moisture out of it, and now it's fine.
Cool.
So I think people might enjoy it, how it works out. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a house blend, infused, infused cigar.
That's funny.
I need to send one to Sherry. I think she would be like, I'm just gonna smoke this all day. So yeah, coffee bean finally is done. And I kind of feel a little bit guilty. Is because we put so much attention to Tim's Turbo Jet coffee, but we can't do that for Bob, because Bob obviously did the coffee first. However, Bob doesn't roast his own coffee. He did it for a third person that carried.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like me going through Tim's cigar shop. Tim's coffee shop, right? Coffee roasting. Because Bob was with it's literally using his name to go with another person. I can't say, hey, do that too. So I kind of feel a little bit of it's one of those things being born in October. Everything had to be balanced. If it's not, I feel kind of guilty a little bit. I feel like, oh man, I'm not paying attention. I have attention to Bob and his endeavor, and we can't support it. I'm not saying that people shouldn't buy his coffee. I haven't even tried it yet. I haven't even tried it yet. And for all I know, it might be good. It might be good, right? I just, I feel like, but I can't go to every single shop and say, hey, carry the Shadow Smokers Legion blend for us. So yeah, I do feel a little bit of, I didn't pay enough attention to other people, and that's also in the group. I want to support everybody, obviously, and I feel like, I always say this, love doesn't have to be exclusive, right? I can like Starbucks coffee at the same time like McDonald's coffee, whatever. I like.
Yeah. I mean, it's not all. Yeah, it's not a zero sum kind of a thing. That not to be. That's for sure.
I mean, obviously, I would love to work with Bob. Our cigar rest thingy, the stand, go with Bob. It was great. It turned out great. But we do a little bit here and there with everybody, and obviously we have a lot of people in the group that there was no way to support. Right? Like if you do woodwork or carpentry and stuff like that. I can't say let's go support Travis with his
Electrical
business. Everybody go buy a generator. Right? You can't do that. So, and I do feel a little bit of man, I can't be more inclusive. I can't be inclusive, and that's kind of like bothers me a little bit. I have to be honest. I do think about it.
Well, I mean, yeah, and, it's that's just there's a balance, like you said. It's not easy to balance stuff. So,
one of those things that I feel kind of bad about. It's kind of like we kind of drift apart from Cigars Daily, right? And that is not because it's not because we support Little Guy Cigar Shop, because obviously Cigars Daily carry other stuff.
Sure,
right? But
I think Cigars Daily's doing fine, don't you think?
I think Cigars Daily is doing just fine. They bought a new building. Well,
right.
They went to a new building.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's yeah, I mean, there's, yeah,
right, but
I
unfortunately, that is just very hard to work in conjunction with Cigars Daily to do that kind of stuff, because obviously Tim is his own brand. He's the brand,
right.
So it's very hard for me to say, hey, let's do something cross with Shadow Smoke's Legion, because Cigars Daily is his brand, and when you have a brand, you don't want to taint your brand with something. It's just hard. It's just hard. I mean, I want to. It would be really cool to do something with Cigars Daily, but it's not possible.
But so the size of that brand can have something to do with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, hey, let's do something with Coca-Cola. They're like, who are you, right?
Right.
They right.
Like,
but and I'm not saying Tim is to Coca-Cola, but I'm just trying to get at, it varies what you're able to do, what you're not able to do, and how much what's in it for Tim in that respect too, right? Where would he want to spend his focus?
right.
Where would he want his energy? Is it worth it to him to do that? Is it a dime holding up a dollar? And if that's the case, then you can't blame them. So yeah, I think that's, but also I think connections too. I mean, how connected are our Legion members to Cigars Daily?
Well, majority of Legion member came from Cigars Daily.
Came from it, but how connected are they still? Is my question. On their own accord, right?
Well, Joe said he just ordered some cigars from them last week, and I'm not gonna lie, I order cigars from them all the time, right? In fact, I think I order. I think either the Kinsuki or one of the other cigars I bought from them. Like if I'm looking for specific cigars, I will look up Cigars Daily first, because I know what Michael has, right? It's that handful of brands, right? So whatever I'm looking for, I will look for Cigars Daily first. And a lot of time, if I can't find a Cigars Daily, I just give up. I just don't look for it anymore.
Right. Yep.
Right? Now, if I receive an email on certain cigars I'm looking for, that might be a different story. For example, today I received an email about Campao, and I just went to buy it.
Yeah.
Right? But let's say if Tim has Campao, I will have bought it from Tim. But here's the thing. It's getting harder and harder to reach Tim.
Right.
Now, I bring this up because somebody asked. It's like, Tony, why didn't you try to do an event cigar with American Vikings? Okay. Why didn't you do some cigar with American Vikings? Now, my issue with that is, number one, is that they have they get their blends from Plasencia. That we all know. Like, that's not a secret anymore. They already let out that secret. So we can't just go, okay, Tim, I want you to carry a blend for Shadow Smoke's Legion. Because technically they are not their own manufacturer. Right? They're not their own manufacturer. They order cigar from another place.
Right.
right? But if I order cigars from Casa Cuevas, they were the one that does the blends.
Yeah, they're doing the blend.
They were the
Right.
one that has a farm. You know, it's the same thing as if I go to Drew Estate and says, hey, Drew Estate, can you make a cigar for us? It's the same idea. Or if I go straight to Placencia, it's the same idea. But for me to go to Tim and say, can American Viking make a cigar? That touches like 4 hands before you get to a brand. So it wouldn't make sense. And I think that, especially for Tim, I think that would be even bigger burden to ask him to do that. That's why I didn't do it. Right? And people are asking me that question, so I figure I answer it now. You know, it's because he's a brand that get another company to make their house brand, not actually a cigar company. Right? So, or not actually a cigar maker. Not they are a cigar company. They're not a cigar maker.
Right.
So I didn't feel like it's the right path. It's the right path. Plus, I also I don't sell cigars. You know, I had to ask people to do it, and I just don't know where. I mean, maybe in the future. I don't know. Right? Maybe in the future. But right now, I don't think it's a feasible path because how much more burden that he's focused on growing cigars daily. I don't know how he's, you know, doing the American Viking. I don't know the process of what he's doing right now. But I just feel like, you know, basically, if I go reach them, I'll basically reach into a third party. And the third party has to reach to a second party, which I'll reach to Tim. Tim reaches to American Viking because he's not the sole owner of like American Viking, right? And then he had to reach to Placencia. So many factors getting there just to do one thing.
Right.
Right? But if I talk to Brendan, he talked to Casa Cueva. That's it. The end. That's the end of that path.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
You know, in the future, maybe there is. Maybe there's more path. Maybe as we do more of that, we have more experience. Like this one, I haven't even got it complete yet. I haven't even get into complete yet. You know, and I just feel like it's a legitimate question. So I want to address that. Not because I have any problem with Tim. You know, they're nice guys. They are why this family started. They are the root of it, right? But at the same time, their feasibility on which path we can go is the fastest path, more feasible path to be doable. And obviously we have Brendan to help us. That makes it easier to sell. And that way, they're not working for free either. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Because everybody who has to pay effort in this, that's time, that's effort, that's negotiation that I don't have to do. I don't have that kind of time to. I mean, it sounds like kind of like narcissistic. So I don't have the time to do it. But I feel like once it gets more complicated, it will actually drag out the project forever. Yeah. I don't think it's a feasible path. I don't think it's the quickest path to do.
You have to get prioritized at that point. Right. People have to prioritize what you're, where do you fit on that list of things they're working on, and yep.
And I also think that another reason is because I haven't seen American Viking making any cigar for any other brand. Right? Casa Cueva makes other brand cigars. Gran Habano makes other brand cigars. Right? So that makes more sense for me to go communicate with them to say, can you guys do this? Because they have done it before. They do that. Yeah, we can have multiple blend. But if I go talk to Tim go talk to Placencia. Now Placencia has to see if they have a blend that they can hand it over. Say, okay, you can use this one.
Right.
So that's what makes the difference in negotiation. Because now when we talk to Brendan talked to Casa Cueva says, okay, if you got a blend, we'll do it. Because they have the ability to do that. Right? Because now you're talking to the factory. right? But American Viking don't have a factory. American Viking is at the mercy of plasticity.
Hey Tony, man, you should have made that package a little like twice as big, man.
I have to give out so many packs. I had to, you know.
I understand. I'm just saying.
You know, I have to, you know. I only have so many bags that's pre-roasted.
Right.
So I have to take it from there and to do that. And the pre-roasted ones actually cost me more. So, you know, that's why we have those not roasted ones in Tim. If you guys like it, go get it from Tim. He will roast it for you guys. You know, it's just
Is he even sell? Is he sell? When is he gonna sell it?
when
Yeah.
he says sometime by the end of this week he will do a test batch to see how he's gonna roast it.
Okay.
But you can see that roast is very light roast. You can almost see the green still on the bean. It's very, very light. And when you look at the bean, it looks dry.
Well, it looked very dry.
Right? Because the oil hasn't been cooked out yet.
Kind of chalky.
Right? But when you brew it, it's completely the opposite. It's not powdery, it's not dry, it's fresh and clean. Right?
Yeah.
It's got, when you look at the coffee, you can see through it. It's that clean.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It is good stuff. I'm a very picky person.
I'm not gonna be able to drink this other shit that I've been drinking, man. I'll piss the wife off.
You know, when you get a bag, you should share some with your wife. I think it will change her perspective of what coffee is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's really how coffee should be drank. I mean, if you think about it, coffee is a fruit. So how do you get a fruit to start tasting bitter?
Yeah. Well, there are fruits that do taste bitter, man. That's for sure.
There is, but fruits. Main point of a fruit is that when it drops and when it ripe, it's sweet, so the animal will go eat it and poop out the seeds.
Right.
So it's supposed to be sweet, right? The moment that you add sugar into a coffee, you'll defeat the point. You're defeating the point.
Yeah.
Right? It's like putting curry on top of steak.
So salt, right? Is people put salt in their coffee.
They do. That brings out more flavor, actually.
It blocks the bitterness.
The bitterness is still gonna be there, but it will arrive later.
Yeah.
Right? It's all about that finish at the end. What you're tasting, what's leaving, right? But when you drink the coffee, obviously the crema is gonna taste the worst. The top layer oil is gonna be bitter as hell. Okay? And once you get to the coffee itself, you gotta get the flavor of the coffee. You know, floral, nuttiness,
right.
The coffee itself, and then the finish note is when it goes more bitter.
Right.
Just how long it is. Right. The longer you roast the coffee, the more of that bitter note you gotta have at the end. Right. So when you drink something like a dark roast, you gotta get a lot of that coffee flavor because that bitterness kind of contributed to the front end of that coffee.
Mm.
So you gotta because in the beginning there's more sugar, the sweet taste in the beginning. So you kind of combine with that bitterness, it became a pungent taste and much more stronger taste, and then bitterness. Right? That's why people add sugar, try to kind of combat that bitterness.
Right.
But if it's a good coffee bean, it's gonna be a fresh coffee bean. It's gotta be sweet naturally, and then that end notes of that bitterness disappears. It's very, very, very short. For this particular blend of coffee, the sweetness comes back at the end. So you drink that, you taste all those notes, and then you got bitterness. After that bitterness, a little bit of sweetness came back.
Yeah.
That little bit of sweetness is what makes you want to take the second sip again. Right? I feel like clean coffee, something like really lightly roasted coffee, tend to have that ability to get you go right after you drink. It's like, oh, wait, that tastes pretty good. Take another sip, really quickly. First is you take a good sip, you go, and you put it down.
Then you wait.
Yeah, right. when you wait, that's because your body says, I need a little time to gap between this and that because that finish hasn't leave yet. But this particular one is so clean and fresh. It feels like you're drinking tea, so that it's okay to just drink it and not feeling like something stay in your mouth for a long time.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, some people might say, well, Tony, are you saying that the coffee, the flavor doesn't last as long? No, it's because you enjoy the first part of that flavor a lot more. Right? So that when the end notes, the finish comes in, you're like, I want to wash out that finish. I want that first part of it.
Right.
So yeah, it is pretty cool concept of how they came out with that. They're like, you know what? This soil has been growing tea forever, so whatever we grow is going to taste like tea. Let's try it. Let's just try to grow coffee and see if it comes out like tea. Well, it actually did.
Sure enough. Yeah. Good stuff.
So yeah, when I bought it, when I drank it, I was like, holy crap, this thing's good. And I started drinking it myself a lot. Now, does that mean I don't drink the after show or the Soy Assassin blend? No, I finished them. I finished them. They taste good. So, it's just like, when do you want it? I actually think I enjoy the Assassin blend in the morning more than the afternoon. And I enjoy the Alisan coffee in the afternoon more than the after show or the Assassin blend in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the afternoon, I don't want something so strong. I don't want that much caffeine. I just want the coffee to drink. Right? I want the flavor. I don't want to feel so. Like after you drink the coffee, like I'm not really in the mood to drink to eat dinner.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something I want. So
Right.
I go to drink a lighter coffee. See this thing? I'm smoking a
Wasabi.
Well, they call it Robusto. Yeah, it is a Robusto. So Robusto wasabi took me almost 2 hours to finish.
Yeah.
Whereas
I had that Churchill Hoyo de Monterey, I think it was. Is that what it was? Hoyo de Monterey?
Yeah, it is.
And half a short stack here almost.
And that Hoyo is what, number 1 or number?
Yeah, I don't know.
Number 1 is the longer one. Number 2 is pretty. It's like Robusto size, even not shorter. So I think it's number 1 that you smoke. But yeah, you can see like this is what I mean by not liking to smoke Candela because it takes forever for me to finish it.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. I'm not big into it.
Is it a bad cigar? No, it's a pretty good cigar. But what bothers me is how long it takes. How long it takes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For me, it's the same reason why I don't like to smoke a Toro cigar. It's because how long it takes to smoke it. I want something that I can smoke for an hour, right? And something like wasabi, it's not something that you want. If you smoke wasabi within an hour, you're smoking it wrong. So.
What's crazy is I bet a lot of smokers would do just fine with Robustos.
Say that again?
A lot of smokers would do just fine with Robustos.
I think so. I think in general, Robusto and Toro are the most popular size. I think they are. So being the most popular size, there's a reason. And I think Robusto is just the right size for cigars. It's just about an hour 15 minutes maybe. It gets there. So Starbucks coffee,
Salinity.
You should take wasabi and infuse it with wasabi. I am not doing that. That would be a waste of my wasabi. That'll be a waste of my wasabi. I'm not saying waste of this wasabi. All right, I'm talking about waste of my wasabi. My wasabi is expensive. And you wouldn't kill me because, like I said before, real wasabis are sweet. I wouldn't burn myself to death with it. So a lot of people say, oh, you infuse something with wasabi, it's gonna taste like, it's gonna burn your nose to death. No, like, actual wasabi is just a root. It's actually sweet. Majority of the root stuff are sweet. Right? Horseradish on the side. I mean, obviously horseradish is not, but like things that like carrots, daikon.
Yeah. So Josh is trying to be clever, I think.
So yeah, I don't think it's gonna match well. I mean, if you say infuse wasabi with some jalapeno, yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, it's spicy, but infuse wasabi with wasabi, I don't know. But I do have to say, like, a lot of people, if they don't look at the box, they probably don't know that wasabi is by Espinosa, because it's just so different from the rest of the cigars. Packaging, bands, and stuff like that, it's just so different from the rest of the cigars.
Punch should have come up with wasabi.
Punch is a little late.
Yeah, they Espinosa beat them to the punch.
It definitely did arrive late, for sure. I mean, it's kind of nice that they go with a theme, you know, trying to get people to kind of get excited over things. But
in this last one, right? Let's just go get a freaking $1 tin foil and throw some cigars in there and put a package on it. Come on, man. That's
I don't think that's gonna hold any humility in there.
It's a bit. Yeah, I don't know, man.
But think of it this way: if you bought one pack of those and you have a bunch of friends to smoke together, the container could be an ashtray.
It could be an ashtray, or you could put a little chicken in there and like put it in the oven, cook it.
Oh yeah. I don't think it'll fit the chicken. It's probably that small. It's probably that small.
Small one?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
okay. You can put like a banana nut bread in there.
Cook a bread in there, put it in the oven.
Yeah,
Yeah, that might work. So, Wednesday, Saturday. So I talked about June, and by June, that's when we gotta start collecting money for the event, and we'll have all the swag and everything, pretty much ready. I'm hoping by June we'll have some answer about the cigars, because I'm kind of worried. If I haven't figured out the cigars by then, it might be too late. So I kind of have to start rushing Brendan, because now we're in March. Can you believe that? 3 months?
Yeah.
We're already into March. And
That's crazy. But I can't imagine Luis Cuevas not making something happen, though.
I just don't want us to say, hey, it's last minute, let's just do whatever.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's what's going to happen either. Like, why would they do that, right? So,
why would they do that? I don't think they would. I just feel like if you're crunching on time, then you just had to do something. It's time or quality, right? Which one, right? There's only so much time. Originally we planned is like, you know what? Maybe March we'll go down to DR and figure it out. That's not happening. We'll go to DR, we can't come back.
Right.
Right? You need to have like the COVID test within like 72 hours. It takes longer than that to receive your result in majority of places right now.
Right.
So there's no way. I talked to Brenda about that. I was like, can we just do this without having to go there, right? We would take our plane ticket money and just buy all the test blends. Tell them to test around the same blend and see which one works. I mean, that's the only way, because right now I do not see any other way. So very disappointing in a way at myself on handling the time, because we had 2 years to figure this out.
You did, but one of those 2 years was COVID year, man. So, what are you going to do?
Right. Well, that's kind of not an excuse, because in a way, Brendan's like, it's still early. That's not, I can't, it's too early.
Yeah, no, but there's other factors that came into play because of that, right?
Right.
The quantity of, workers, it just, there's a lot of things happening with that. Shipping, there's things happening that are slowing that process down. So.
Yeah, I mean, especially last year, the income was just my income was just not feasible to take a risk on that project and stuff.
I'll tell you about the rapid test. My daughter went and got a rapid test, and it said she had COVID, and she wound up going and getting another test. That was the longer one, whatever, the PCR, I don't know, whatever it is. the other one, and wound up being negative on it. So, and then she had another one done. It was negative as well. So
So it's a
that
false
rapid
positive.
test can be a false positive, big time.
Yeah, just
So be
safety
careful
issues.
with that.
So yeah, there's no way to be completely safe, or
Certain.
I mean, in a way, I'm not afraid of getting COVID, but getting COVID holds a lot of things back. You know, you gotta deal with that for like 4 weeks to a month, 4 weeks to 2 months, just to
Right.
handle that. And I don't have a couple months right now to handle all the stuff right now. I don't have a couple months where I say, you know what, I'm just gonna not do anything and do that, because I have a lot of business going on that I have to handle aside from Cigar State. I mean, not Cigar State. Shadow Smoke Legion. So,
Right.
there's so many things I had to handle. I can't say, you know what, I'm gonna do this for the Shadow Smoke Legion and risk 2 months and not doing something. I can't do that right now. So, unfortunately, that's the way it is.
Oh no, you gotta take care of business first, man.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's it for 2 hours. That's 2 hours. Wow.
People, 2 hours, man.
Quick 2 hours, actually. Relatively quick 2 hours. So, now, quick reminder on updates. If you want the Glen Karen cup, I still have a few more. Right, that's number
You
one.
gotta save money on that, man.
Oh yeah.
What does it cost?
It's like, hold on, let me give you the exact number. How many do you want?
Just one.
Just one? So one will be 36 shipped.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, so that's still available. And I still have a lot of those whiskey rock glass because I had to order minimum, so I have like crap load at home right now. So if you want that, that's also available. If you want the pins and the poker chips, you want to wait a few days so that you can receive those on your order, right? Or talk to Michael ahead of time. Since I want to place an order, but I want those pins, so he will hold your order until then.
Did not Legion and Good Morning Maurice.
Right? So that's on the, and then after show blends are out, Assassin blends are out, Alisan Coffee will supposedly go on the website sometime at the end of this week, beginning of next week. Okay? Make sure to use your Shadow Smoke Legion code, because if you don't, that price is not something that you want to pay for coffee. Okay? Other than that, nothing else. I mean, there are some challenges going on in the Legion and the Facebook. So if you don't know, go check out the Legion Facebook. I've been trying to do some small giveaways because I have a lot of stuff sitting, so I can give those away. All right. So that I want to remind the Shadow Smoke Legion once in a while. Check out what events we have going on in the Facebook page. I know Quick is not in the Facebook, so they're not gonna see it. But for those people who is, it's there. I will probably run some challenges in the Discord soon. So don't feel like because you just use Discord you're missing out. There will be something for Discord as well. I just had to get to it. I just had to put it together, say what I'm gonna do, right? And that is it.
Dipping. There's some of us that are double dipping though.
Well, you know,
We're doing Facebook, yeah, we're doing Discord, so yeah.
in a way, yes, but you know, we still have both, so you can, you know, it's not guaranteed even if you double dip it. So, you know what I'm saying? It's only one winner. So, and that's it. That's it for tonight. I'll see you guys Saturday night again, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know if there's anybody that's usually not in the group today, because I look at the numbers, about the right number, 8 to 10 people on Wednesday. So if there is, I hope you subscribe and join us more, chat with us. You don't have to ring the bell. Yeah, nobody cares about the bell.
The clown guy stopped coming.
Huh?
The clown person stopped coming.
Well, everybody's busy today. Wednesday are usually what busy people are busy. I'm just really used the time so I can just smoke and relax and chat at the same time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so yeah, I'll see you guys next Saturday